This is Smiles TV. Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony Miles, and thank you for tuning in. We have a wonderful, different kind of broadcast for you today. When you watch Smiles Television Talk Show, there's usually a cameraman, someone on the other side of the camera. And today, we're going to talk with Cesaron White, who is the founder of IDEX Photography and Multimedia. Ces helps keep smiles going. Remember, Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, and he was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. Confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, and thou shalt be saved. Stay tuned for more smiles.
Are you looking for an insured and bonded residential or commercial contractor? On Time Contracting, owned by Ali McDowell, is just a phone call away. On Time Contracting operates with the utmost integrity and quantities to complete your project right on time. Residential or commercial, exterior or interior, roofing, siding, flooring, you name it. If you want your project completed for the price quoted and at the time quoted, contact On Time Contracting. Good, quality, professional work guaranteed to be completed on time. Call 618-567-3591. No project is too large or too small. On Time Contracting. Call On Time Contracting today.
Welcome back to Smiles Television Talk Show. I have a very brief story for you. Some years ago, I showed a gentleman footage of the Smiles taping, and he told me, "Oh, I know someone who can really help you out." And I said, "Well, I have pretty good productions now. What are you talking about?" So he said, "Hold on, let me give you somebody's number." And that gentleman's name was Cesaron White. The founder and the owner of IDEX Photography and Multimedia. And Ces is my guy. He's the reason Smiles is still going on. Let's talk to Cesaron White right now. Hi, Ces. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, Stephanie.
Good.
And so nice to see you.
Nice to see you
Always.
too. And how is it being on this side of the camera?
You know, it's different. I'm not on here that often. I just started a YouTube of my own, but it's sort of me by myself sort of thing. It's different.
We're going to talk about that a little bit, and
Yeah.
what you're doing with your YouTube and your children, because you're even training your children how to do production.
A little bit, yeah.
So, Ces, what is IDEX Photography and Multimedia?
Yeah, so IDEX Photography and Multimedia is, I do a lot. And that's what one of my commercials says. It starts off with, I do a lot. But, you know, it's myself shooting weddings, portraits, commercials, all kinds of different things. And I really like being part of folks' story. So whether that's a small business and we're telling the story of how they came to be and we're just kind of offering their services, or it's a wedding and we're telling that epic, you know, wedding romance story. So it ranges.
Okay, well, how did you get started? And tell us a little bit about some of the highlights of your career.
Sure. How did I get started? I started about 2007, I think it was. And yeah, I was shooting weddings and you know, just kind of getting my feet wet with growing that and not knowing whether I wanted to do more photo or more video. I actually, obviously, still do both to this day.
I was going to ask you about that particular fact, because I know you do photography and you do video. And how does that work together, and why did you choose to do both?
So in the Venn diagram of skills necessary, there's a lot of crossover, and so you can do both. Sometimes it gets a little hard to manage, and but if you can manage it, then it is possible to do both. I right now am running a Sony Ecosphere ecosystem.
Okay.
So I've got Sony cameras, interchangeable lenses, and so my video cameras, Sony lenses, my stills cameras, also Sony lenses. So it makes it easier to do both without absolutely obliterating the bank.
Okay. Okay, so with the video as opposed to still photography, what's your preference?
Whatever I'm doing less of at the time. Whatever I'm doing less of at the time, because like I said, sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming, and sometimes it can get a little daunting, but it's still very fun. I love what I do. I really do love what I do. So, like I said, being able to be part of someone's story, I think is very valuable.
Starting off, I mentioned the fact that a gentleman told me after seeing my videos that he knew someone, and just to elaborate a little bit more, I was actually at an AT&T store. My phone was messed up, and I was sitting there. I said, well, let me just show them the Smiles television show, and the guy was looking at it, and he said, okay, well, this looks okay, but I know somebody who can do a whole lot better than this. And I was like, really? And he said, yes. And it took us a while to connect, but I'm so grateful that we did. Yeah.
And years later, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And actually 10 years later, and we'll talk about that some other time, but years later, here we are. So in your setting up your production, how much time does it take, and what's the process?
I tell you, it really depends. So I'll start from the shortest is, obviously if I'm just doing a headshot session, no, even shorter than that. If I'm shooting an event, then I don't really add a whole lot of lights. I don't add a whole lot of anything. I show up and capture what they want me to capture, especially if it's an outdoor thing. I don't really have to set up. But if I'm doing like a multi-camera shoot, maybe I'm streaming something for a service. So I've got multiple cameras and a switcher and screens. That can take, maybe an hour setup. So it absolutely ranges depending on what the client's looking for.
What fuels you? What motivates you to keep going like you do?
Well, in photography, I love capturing beautiful images. I like making good images. I think that's really it's really fun. That fuels me. In video, I like telling a good story. It's kind of like in my Air Force job, we tell the Air Force story, and so I've been doing that for some time now, which kind of supplements and strengthens my civilian job.
Well, let's go there. Your Air Force story and your history, your background. Sis, where are you from originally?
Oh, San Antonio.
San Antonio.
So, I moved around, but San Antonio for my high school years. I was in San Antonio.
Okay, and you've been in the Midwest for roughly?
Since 2004.
Wow.
So this is my adult home. This is my adult home. It's been it's been a very long time.
And you have children. You have 2 children, as a matter of fact, who are helping us today with this production.
Yes.
That is great to get them started so early.
Well, I've had a job ever since I legally could, and a little bit before, because mowing lawns and stuff like that. And so I kind of want to help teach that too, and work ethic and things.
And don't they have a YouTube channel?
They do, actually. Epic RK. R for reason, K for Kaylee. And they have a fun channel that their dadager is going a little bit slow on getting new episodes edited, but I'll work on that.
And your channel, your YouTube channel, tell us about that.
Yeah, so my channel is Lens Life with Cess White, and I like to talk about life behind the lens. I like to talk about, how it goes capturing these things, and the fun side, the sad or challenging sides, and just kind of everything in between. And so I'm kind of getting going on that, but it's something I really enjoy. So hopefully I can keep it on.
Okay, and once again, how can we get to your YouTube channel?
Oh, on YouTube, if you just look up Lens Life, Cess White, I pop up pretty quickly.
Oh, really? So you're pretty popular, huh?
It's the charm.
Okay. What are your future aspirations, Cess?
future aspirations, I really want to build more business connections. I want to work directly with more businesses and being able to tell their story and help them reach their target clients.
Okay.
I will probably be doing a little bit less weddings, but I don't think I'm going to completely let that go because that's a valuable story too.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's hard to book you. You know, we have to book way out in advance because this guy has it going on. He's not only does he do Smiles Television Talk Show, there are other broadcasts in which he produces. So I want to thank you, Sis. I don't think we've tapped on enough, and we don't have enough time to go through everything. But what are some of your best ventures within your
oh boy
background?
So I tell you what, I have a church client that honestly helped me get through COVID. not health wise, just as far as a good business connection. And I really enjoyed working with that and getting established with a few other businesses and organizations in the area. But my biggest and most fun thing that I think I've done
Smiles TV.
Smiles. It was absolutely Smiles TV.
Okay. Okay, and then in addition to that.
No. That's pretty much. Oh, you know what? I will tell you one other thing.
What?
Okay, this is my last one and I'm done.
Okay.
Do you remember Roy Jones Jr.? Of course you do. Boxer. He was amazing. He still is amazing. Right before he fought with Mike Tyson, I actually got to film with him, did an interview.
Did you?
Yeah, so we actually drove out to that was with our mutual friend Pascal.
Okay. How's Pascal doing?
He's doing well.
Tell people about the Pascal show.
Okay, so the Pascal show, it's shifted a little bit post-COVID, and so it was a lot of sit-down interviews. There were a lot of in-person things with personalities, some of them local, some of them national. Now it's a lot more. He leans a lot more into true crime stories, and so he kind of will interview families and all kinds of different things.
Okay.
But yeah, people of interest. It's grown considerably, but it's also changed considerably too. So it's very interesting, and I'm happy to see where he's going.
Okay, well, that's excellent. And Sis, thank you for coming from behind the cameras to sit out here. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to stress or share with the audience?
Well, it's been my pleasure to shoot your show and several other shows and clients that I'm really happy to work with. But I do want to give a little bit of plug for the Air National Guard.
Please.
Because my experience with the Air National Guard has enabled me to do my military commitment, and I could continue doing that while building my civilian business at the same time. And so I have some video training from the Air Force that actually helped me grow on the civilian side as well. And so that's not really an IDEX plug, but I do want to say, since that's a significant portion of my history and background, that I'm really happy to have been a part of the Air Force, basically for the last 20 years. But Illinois Air National Guard.
So that's where some of your sharpness comes from.
Some of it, yeah,
yes, just a little bit.
Some of that, and yeah. Before joining the Guard, my previous active duty Air Force job had nothing to do with film, cameras, video at all. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to be where I am because of those experiences and these experiences we're having now.
How great is that? Yeah, great plug for them. So I want to thank you, Sis, again for being on Smiles Television Talk Show. And when you finish this, you're going to go behind the cameras, okay?
Shoot, that's right.
Let's talk. We're going to talk about some other things.
All right.
Thank you again for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. I want to thank Cesaron White, who is the founder of IDEX Photography and Multimedia. If you're interested in videos, weddings, events, still photography and video, he is the man. If you have a television broadcast, you want him to produce it, he's the man, Cesaron White. Thanks again, Sis.
All right.
Remember, only what you do for Christ will last, and Jesus is the Lord. The Lord be magnified.
The Smiles Television Talk Show wants to showcase your business, organization, church, and activities. If you have an interest in being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show, or if you have any show ideas, contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at SmilesTV777 at gmail.com. You may also call 618-741-3770. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Smiles YouTube channel. Let SmilesTV increase your reach. Remember, you look better with smiles. IDEX Media does a lot. From IDEX Photography to IDEX Films. We help create forever memories and forever impressions. Image a nation, image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.